Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 25. That's right, episode 25 of the Yellow Card Podcast. I can't even believe that we're a quarter to 100. Like, that is ridiculous. 25 episodes. We started this podcast thinking, let's see where it goes. And now we're deep in episode 25, wondering what's left for us to talk about.
I legitimately thought we were getting canceled after 5. I thought literally they were like, these two idiots. No. And then we had Andrew. That's when we solidified it. That's when we solidified the podcast, is when Andrew came on.
It literally felt like when you are a single man, like desperately wanting to go find a date, when you sign up for like that match.com like 7-day trial, that you just look at the last day and you're like, forget it. It didn't work out. It's almost like that, but 25 episodes in, that is ridiculous. But anyways, welcome to episode 25, Yellow Card Podcast. Andrew Fasciano, Chris Jones, Diego Galvez, as always, for your hosts. This week, a lot of action happening in the soccer world. A lot of action that we're going to get into. We're going to quickly go through Champions League and Europa League. Champions League was a very weird Champions League week. A pretty bad one for myself with my predictions, but I will let Chris take the reins on that one. Quickly give us a summary of what happened on Champions League. Go ahead, Chris.
All right, so we had 2 games on Tuesday, 2 games on Wednesday. The 2 games on Tuesday were quite entertaining, to say the least. We had Leipzig and Liverpool. Liverpool won 2-0 in that one. It's about time that Liverpool actually showed up in form. Then we had Barcelona and PSG at Camp Nou, which very well might have been Messi's last UCL game at Camp Nou. And Kylian Mbappe made a statement, and they won 4-1. Kylian Mbappe had a hat trick.
Boy, did he ever make a statement. I mean, I think all three of us can agree that was just the most amazing performance he's done so far since he's entered the soccer world.
Oh, yeah. I
mean you can make the argument for his FIFA World Cup run.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about on like the club level, yeah, absolutely, I could agree with you there.
I was blown away. Come on. Sorry. I was blown away by just how many goals he's scored for PSG already at this point in his career.
Yeah.
Like I don't really follow the French league all that closely, but I threw on the game and I saw the statistics. He's already well over 100 goals for PSG. I never would have guessed that. That's incredible.
Yeah,
I would have, just because of the world-class talent that he is.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday we had the 2 games. Dortmund beat Sevilla in 3-2 fashion. Erling Haaland made a statement in that game with 2 goals in that one. I believe he also had an assist on their first goal. I love him. I love him. He's good for the sport.
I love Haaland's talent, but his cockiness, I just want to literally choke him to pieces.
He's good. He's good for the sport. And then we had Porto and Juventus. The Portuguese Giants literally scored twice, both within the first 5 minutes of each half. Juventus literally had nothing going for them. Porto beat them 2-1. So we're looking at picks. I went 2-2. Diego went 0-4, and Andrew went 1-3. So the current record's as follows. I am 61-41 in the Champions League. Diego is 55-47. Andrew is 29-23. So we're gonna get right into it. We're going to get into this week's matchups. Let's start with Lazio and Bayern.
Okay. Let's start with Lazio and Bayern.
Fasciano, give me your thoughts on Lazio versus Bayern Munich.
Yeah. So we've talked a couple times, I think both on podcasts and streams, about where we think Bayern rank in terms of all the clubs in the world of soccer right now. And I think we're all in agreement that they're one of the 2 best teams probably in the world right now. And obviously, all due respect to Lazio, they are not in the same place as Bayern. They're not quite on the same level. 4th in Serie A right now. Bayern currently leading the Bundesliga. I see Bayern winning this game. I think last season, obviously, they won the Champions League. They were very, very good in kind of this type of competition where it's a shorter format. I think they will win this one 2-0.
Diego.
All right, so it's Lazio versus Bayern. Last time that Lazio played a German team was against Dortmund. It was a very different style of game too. It was a 1-1 score, but I do think with Bayern and their weapons, I would foresee this game actually going more like 3-1 for Bayern.
For me personally, do you guys remember last year in the Champions League when Bayern played Chelsea in the round of 16?
Yes.
I think that's what we're going to see here.
Okay.
Lazio's not as high profile of a team as Chelsea is, but I do think Bayern's going to absolutely roll over them. I actually think Bayern's going to win this one 3-0.
Wow.
Personally.
And then speaking of Chelsea, we got the matchup of the week basically in this whole entire schedule. Chelsea versus Atletico. So, Farciano, once again, you go first.
Yeah, this is the one we've all been waiting for, right? Like all three of us said when we were picking what the round of 16 matchups were going to be, all three of us, I think, said we wanted to see this matchup just because of the contrasting styles that will be on display. I'm really excited to watch this one. I think if you look at the 4 Champions League matches this week, this is the can't miss one, that if you're going to watch one, it should be this one. We've talked a lot about Atletico on this podcast about how good defensively they've been. That hasn't quite been the case over their last couple of games. They haven't kept a clean sheet for their past 7 games, and they've given up 2 or more goals in like 3 of the last 5, I think. So the perfect defensive structure is showing some signs of weakness here.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you look at Chelsea. They had a draw against Southampton, but prior to that, they've been on a nice little run under Thomas Tuchel. They've looked pretty good. I think he's done a better job of getting some of their high-profile offensive weapons clicking. I could see this one being a draw, to be honest with you. I think this one might go 2-2. I think both of these teams have offensive weapons, and I think that Atletico don't quite have the defensive, I guess, momentum going for them right now to keep Chelsea off the board.
I like the way you were thinking with the draw, because I'm kind of on the same wavelength as you. I think, especially because of the fact that Chelsea, even when we were talking about this match, this was back when Frank Lampard was still the manager of Chelsea. Now that Thomas Tuchel, it creates a whole different element to this for me personally. So I think it's going to be a draw. I think 1-1 suits it better. I think both teams are going to be very defensive minded. I think you're going to see a lot of midfield play, and on the opportunities up front, I think, each of them is going to get one, but I don't see any more than that. So I'm going 1-1 draw here.
All right. Last time that we saw Chelsea play a Spanish side was Sevilla. It was a 4-0 score. Again, though, comparing Atletico to Sevilla is really not a fair comparison by any means. 2 different styles of play, complete different management on both sides as well, where, we know what Diego Simeone is capable, but we also have seen what Thomas Tuchel brings to Chelsea. I'm actually going to go out on a limb and say that Chelsea wins this one, but it's a very tight score. It's going to be a 2-1 score.
It would be big for the aggregate. Another big thing. 3 out of the 4 road teams won their matchups, by the way, in the first leg on Tuesday and Wednesday earlier this week.
And another big thing to consider too is Tuchel has always done very well against Spanish sides. He was in Dortmund; he was good at it. So again,
no, I agree with you 100%. I just think it's going to be a lot closer.
Yeah.
Let's move over to the Wednesday slate. We get 2 games. We're going to do Gladbach and Man City first. I'll hit the nail on the head here. Manchester City is on a different stratosphere.
Oh yeah.
I think they're just going to click on all cylinders. Gladbach's going to make it a game, obviously, but I see City winning 3-1 here.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I need to add too much more. Manchester City are playing unreal right now. I don't know if you guys saw, but the Gladbach Twitter account had a funny tweet where they quote tweeted someone saying that Manchester City's on an unbelievable run. And they're like, it has to end at some point, which I like the confidence, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think City will win this one 3-0.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as Chris. I definitely think this is a 3-1 score. As much as I love hearing about the confidence that Gladbach has and that German flair where they say it has to end at some point, again, it's Manchester City, and it pains me to say it as a Manchester United fan too.
Yeah, all right. I mean, Gladbach has been playing well as of late too in the Bundesliga, so
They
they
dropped
could be
significantly. They dropped to seventh
they could
place.
be they could be on like the road back, but City is just a tough hill to climb.
But again, we shouldn't count them out either because
I'm not
Liverpool
counting them out. No,
Yeah, like
I'm not-
Liverpool wasn't playing good at all as of late,
Yeah.
and then here they come to beat a very good Leipzig team. So
especially on the road too.
yeah,
In Budapest. All right, last game. Atalanta and Real Madrid.
oh boy.
Diego, you start us off there.
All right, I'm gonna go at Atalanta 2-1. Atalanta has been playing a complete different animal style of play. I don't think Real Madrid is set and prepared to deal with the likes of Duvan Zapata and Luis Muriel. It's a dual threat. Both are very good wingers, but they also very good center forwards, and they're very sneaky. I don't think for Varane and for Ramos, this is a good matchup for them at all. They're not good against sneaky forwards at all. So yeah, 2-1 score for me.
Well, Ramos is on the shelf, so they're not going to have him.
Oh,
yeah. So,
yeah, that's easy.
Just looking at the team that they have, honestly, I think they're still going to make it competitive. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but I do see. I kind of want to go a 1-1 draw here, to be completely honest with you. I don't see
reasonable.
I mean, we haven't really seen a draw in Champions League. Andrew and I have already predicted one draw each. I'm going to go 1-1 draw again on it. I think Atalanta's playing very good, but their form in some of the games in the Serie A has dipped a little bit, so it makes me worried coming into this high-profile game against a team like Real Madrid. So I'm going 1-1 draw here.
Yeah, I was torn between a 1-1 draw and a 2-1 Madrid win. Since you went 1-1, I'll go 2-1 Real Madrid in this one.
Also, he's flipping me.
Yeah, that way we have all sides of the coin.
Listen, we fade Diego now after that 0-4 performance.
Yeah, 0-4, yeah.
I mean, Madrid has a ton of injuries in this one. Like you said, Ramos, Benzema, Valverde, Hazard, all are out injured. I still think they have that little bit extra quality that separates them from a team like Atalanta. Taking nothing away from Atalanta, they've been really, really good over the past couple of seasons and kind of have come from almost nowhere to turn into a Champions League team over the past 2 years. But I just think Madrid has enough in their squad to give them that little extra advantage in this one.
All right. And then so now we move on to the Europa League, which also happened this week. Some high-profile games where Real Sociedad versus Manchester United, as you all saw, United 4-0 score. That was impressive. Then we move over to Tottenham and Wolfsburg, 4-1. Tottenham finally clicking in all cylinders and getting their offense moving forward. You got Leicester and Slavia Praha 0-0. That was a shocking result considering Leicester's performance as of late. Speaking of shocking, Young Boys versus Leverkusen 4-3. Young Boys.
That was a weird game. Young Boys went up 3-0. Leverkusen came back and scored 3, and then Young Boys get the fourth to take the win.
And then we got two giants in Benfica and Arsenal who went both tied at 1. Shakhtar Donetsk beat 2-0 Tel Aviv, and then Napoli fell to Granada 2-0. And finally, Villarreal 2 versus RB Salzburg 0. So that is your Europa League update.
Whoa. Did you talk about AC Milan? Because they drew 2-2 with Cervina Savitka.
Did I not see it? Sorry about that. Yeah, 2-2 against Cervina Savitka.
Shouldn't trust Diego to read. Well, I don't know why we did it.
I appreciate the vote of confidence, Chris.
You're welcome.
But moving on, we also got English Premier League content to talk about. So let's get into it. English Premier League, again, Manchester City just developing their lead even further to really set themselves as the English Premier League champions of the 2021 season. I'm going to be a little bit stubborn with about 14 weeks left to go. Anything can change. I don't think that I can see Manchester City dropping at any point, but I do think it could get a little bit closer than that. Um, that's me hoping. Um,
Yeah.
you know, typical Manchester United, as you know, they're definitely going to tie against Newcastle. And it's going to piss every United fan off so bad that you're going to start seeing the hashtag Ollie out. And as soon as I see that, you're not a Manchester United fan. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again. Ollie's not just a problem for Manchester United. He is a problem, but he's not just a problem. So let's move on from that.
I just love how the flip switches. Literally at the beginning of the year, Diego was talking about getting rid of him and moving on, and now it's we're backing him. That's my guy.
No, and I agree with that. Like at first we were talking about like I personally was like, maybe he should be out. Maybe he doesn't know how to deal with this kind of caliber of players. But then the more you look into it, and as I saw the transfer windows like develop, the dude knew what he wanted. It was a problem execution at the higher office where it comes to a point where it's just like, you guys are literally going to wait until the last second. Any good available players are going to be gone. And then there goes your plan to shambles. Ollie can't just be the problem. He just can't be the problem. And that is exactly what's going on at United. I do think, though, seeing Harry Maguire as of late actually having a good performance, that is, for me, it's a rarity as a United fan.
He stinks.
Because he just completely makes a mistake all the time.
Dude, I saw a fucking TikTok yesterday, right? And it was like, we pay 80 million, and it's all of a sudden it's a song, it just goes Harry Maguire. It's just a picture of it. It's just a video of him fucking falling down, letting up a goal. I was like, yep, that's my friend Diego. He hates him. Woody Woodpecker.
Let's talk about yesterday's matchup.
Let's not.
Merseyside 238th meeting between Everton and Liverpool. As you can tell, this is a very sore topic for Chris. Andrew's got a smile from ear to ear, and I'm about to put a zip code on that. Everton, holy crap. What a performance. You Toughies really brought it against the Merseyside Liverpool. Talk to me about Everton's performance yesterday, also throughout the week. Where do you see them actually landing in this English Premier League standings?
For sure, yeah. So I think for my article on Tuesday, I'm going to try and put into words the significance of this win. So I'll save all the superlatives and that sort of stuff.
Watch your tone.
Rub a little dirt on that.
Watch your tone.
I'll save that for my writing so that Chris doesn't have to hear it. But in terms of the game itself, obviously we lost to Manchester City on Wednesday. It was
like any time that you face Manchester City, whoever you are, just take the loss. Move on.
Loss. I mean, that's the toughest matchup in the league right now.
Yeah.
For anyone, Manchester City. I thought Everton actually played them pretty well in the first half of that game. It was 1-1, I believe, going into halftime. Yep. And they did a nice job of defending and holding strong. But, I mean, you can't resist forever against a team like that with so much firepower. Yep. But then, this weekend going into the derby, I mean, the thing that, I mean, with all due respect to Liverpool, I think they're obviously a great team still. I know there's been a lot made of their struggles recently. But I think it's easy to say this after winning 2-0, but I think Everton's game plan was just about perfect for the matchup because obviously going to Anfield against Liverpool, you know that they're going to want to have the majority of the ball and they're going to try and pass through you and break you down and then use their high press to put the pressure on you and try and force mistakes. And I don't have the numbers in front of me. Let me pull them up. But Everton were content to let Liverpool have the I don't think I'm saying anything too controversial.
Let me pull the numbers up. Hold on.
Yeah, you two arguing are literally like a couple just figuring out divorce at court. Like literally.
71% possession for Liverpool in that game. So I think that was Everton went into the game knowing that was going to happen. That was the game plan, is what I'm trying to say. And And I think it worked well. I think we've seen in the past couple of weeks that Carlo Ancelotti really likes his team to be tactically flexible. And we saw that again yesterday. On the live stream, I kind of thought that it would maybe be a back four with Coleman at right back and Digne pushed high up the pitch on the left side. It was more of a back four with Digne on the left and then Coleman kind of just marking Robertson all over the pitch wherever he was. So it was just, I think Carlo got the game plan exactly right. Obviously, you have to capitalize on your opportunities if you're going to sit back and defend the whole time, which they were able to do. I don't know if we want to talk about the penalty or not. I think
Chris Kavanagh is corrupt, the worst official in the EPL. I don't want to hear any other thing about it.
I was this close to just coming in and being like, welcome to the Chris Kavanagh funeral, because Chris is just about to bury him.
He should be fired. He shouldn't be reffing any sort of games, let alone a Liverpool game ever again. Guy so biased against Liverpool is unreal. I understand the Carlo Ancelotti red card last year. Don't get me wrong. But legitimately, you guys literally got away with murder yesterday. Calvert-Lewin literally dove over Trent Alexander-Arnold and literally got a penalty call.
That's a penalty.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
That's a penalty.
Ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous.
I'll politely disagree. I think
of course you'll politely disagree.
No, but I think with the new rules, like where they took intent out of those penalties like that, where regardless of, obviously, Trent Alexander-Arnold tried to tackle Calvert-Lewin, was on the ground, and Calvert-Lewin ran into him and fell over. I don't think Alexander-Arnold was trying to bring him down, but I do think at the same time he prevented a goal-scoring opportunity. So I think the penalty was a right call. Of course, obviously, I think the penalty was a right call, but I think that
fucking went to the VAR for 32 seconds, if that.
My understanding is that he went to the VAR to check whether or not it was a red card offense because it was a last man tackle. So
yeah, because he's idiotic. Chris Kavanagh is idiotic. I don't want to. If I see him reffing a Liverpool game ever again, I'm just going to bet against the other team because there's no fucking point for me to bet that because he has it out for Liverpool no matter what. So
I will say this, as somebody who was literally just a bystander of that stream. Yeah, there was a lot of controversial calls by Kavanagh. I agree with that 100%.
There was no consistency. There was zero consistency in the derby yesterday.
But aside of that, though, even if that penalty hadn't been called, Everton would have won that one.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. It's consistency. Consistency.
But I think
because you call that. So you call that, right? You call that on Trent Alexander-Arnold. Literally, Mane gets pushed from behind in the box. Literally, no call whatsoever.
I agree with that, and I think that was a little bit
no consistency. There was zero consistency in that game.
But speaking of consistency, though, that is a problem overall that has been happening in the English Premier League. You got Kavanagh, you got Mike Dean,
I'd rather Mike Dean.
You got all these others that make the most controversial calls at the worst time, and this is why the VAR system in the English Premier League is such an unnecessary step there because it really just makes for even more that much annoyance with the refs because of that consistency. But moving on from the Merseyside derby, Leicester City currently winning 2-1, I believe.
Nope, they won.
They won 2-1.
It's official.
Who are they playing again? I'm sorry.
Aston Villa.
Without Jack Grealish, I think.
Yep.
Oh, without Jack Grealish. Okay, that makes a difference. But still, Leicester currently sitting in second place, right behind Manchester City. Then you got Chelsea. Dude, what a run by Thomas Tuchel again with this team. Like, just putting them back into competition of things. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they're sitting on, fifth place, if I'm not mistaken? Yep. Yeah, fifth place. West Ham continue to be an amazing story this season. Congratulations to the Hammers, really. David Moyes and all that whole entire team. Like, what a fantastic run this season has been. And I'm actually kind of glad for David Moyes because once he left United, his career kind of went a little shaky. Then he has seemed to find his stride at West Ham. Again, Liverpool and Everton sitting 6th and 7th, tied at points. Goal differential is what makes the difference there with Liverpool plus 11, on there. Let's talk about Tottenham. Yesterday, I wrote in my article for Couch Guy Sports that it might be time for Mourinho's era at White Lane to come to an end. Reason why I say that, you got you've basically destroyed the offensive game that Tottenham had developed and that have made their DNA on, with Dele Alli, Lucas Moura, Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, all together making a deadly attack. Um, your defensive core is not as strong as it once was, and then just your performances as of late haven't even shown that is what Tottenham should be developing on. I mean, at the beginning of the season, that was a wonderful team to be watching too. I thought for sure they were going to end up maybe fourth place, but now they're sitting in ninth place. They've been on a hot losing streak as of late, and to be quite honest with you, Arsenal might just surpass them too. And Arsenal has been a team that has been dealing with a lot of inconsistencies too. Um, so again, it's worrisome at White Lane with Mourinho. I've experienced this kind of dips from the Mourinho performances as a United fan. That was the most painful dip I've ever dealt with when it came to United, aside of Louis van Gaal. Uh, but again, it's Mourinho. I almost want to say this: Mourinho does not belong in the English Premier League right now. His type of game belongs really in a Spanish La Liga, maybe. Heck, maybe even Serie A. But right now, for the English Premier League, not sure it makes sense.
I'm sorry. I literally just turned on the Man City Arsenal game on Peacock. Man City's already up 1-0 2 minutes in.
Jeez, it's devastating what Manchester City is.
Oh man, they're so good.
All right, but
no, so I think Tottenham's due for a big shakeup. If they don't win the Europa League, they're due for a big time shakeup.
Well, exactly, and that's the thing too. With Mourinho's performance as of late, in that amount of inconsistency at Tottenham, there is severe risk at White Lane to come. You can lose Harry Kane, who can very well and very easily go to a Spanish giant like Barcelona or Real Madrid. You can lose Heung-min Son as well. You can also lose Dele Alli to PSG very soon. Again, probably one of the very first transfers we will see in the summer transfer window. Lucas Moura could also be out. Then you're looking at Hugo Lloris as well. He could also be out. He's being chased after because there is a need for a very good goalie like him. So again, a lot coming down to Tottenham's side of things. But let's move over to Italian League. This morning we had El Clasico de la Madonna, which is the Inter Milan versus AC Milan game. Inter Milan walks away with a victory. And speaking of those two, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Lukaku and Ibrahimovic have had quite some collisions in that course as of late. Some controversial collisions. And for Inter Milan to walk away with that victory today, that just seals it that rivalry, it's over. Lukaku won that one. Lukaku has won that one. Move over from it too. And how young is this dude and performing at such a high level too? Like Lukaku's what, 27, I believe.
I don't think he's that old. Now you say it.
Yeah, I think he's like 27 or something like that.
Checks notes.
Yeah, 27. You're right.
Yep.
Yeah.
He'll be 28 in May.
And just performing at such a high level. Like, honestly, kudos to Lukaku. Was it a big loss for United? Nah, I don't think so. I think he does belong in the Italian league. That's his style of play. That's where he can thrive. Maybe even less like La Liga. I just think the English Premier League requires him to be a lot faster. And while he is physical, like, I mean, the dude's built like a bus coming at you.
Yeah.
I'll
say
a lot
this
faster.
to that point. I mean, he was phenomenal for Everton when he was here before he went to United.
Thanks for that reminder. And then the West Brom game where Ferguson, that was his last game,
Right,
and we
yeah.
tied 5-5. Like, ouch. Thanks, Lukaku.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any dog in the fight in terms of the Italian league, but I love seeing Romelu Lukaku do well wherever he is after leaving. I mean, not so much when he was at United playing against Everton, but since then I've enjoyed seeing him have success because I think he's a phenomenal player, and I think I think in some ways actually I think you could even argue that some of his skills get underrated because you look at how strong he is and how he's able to hold off defenders. And I think kind of his ability to finish and just take over a game by himself gets thrown out in the wash a little bit, just because of what stands out about his game. So yeah, he was tremendous while he was at Everton. He could at any point he could take over a game and score a goal or two. So I'm very happy for him that he's found a good home at Inter right now.
Yeah, and speaking of another United guy that left, well, Inter Milan is like the secondary Manchester United. They got Ashley Young, they got Alexis Sanchez, Romelu Lukaku in their lineup. But Sanchez has also been decent in this Italian league as well. So again, kudos to Inter Milan for winning that one. That's a big victory. Honestly, huge victory for Inter Milan right there.
Speaking of the Battle of Milan's, AC Milan's kind of taking a little bit of a dip. Lost three out of their last five. Still currently sitting in second, but I don't know. But I mean, Juventus still has 2 games in hand on legitimately all of the top 4 besides Roma, so they're gonna finish in the top 4 regardless. It's their chances of repeating again slowly dwindling away. I mean, their schedule's a bit favorable. As in their next 3, I believe they have Crotone, Verona, and Spezia. No way they should come out with anything less than 9 points. And then you play Lazio before you play Porto for the second leg. And then you have Cagliari, you got Benevento, you got Torino, you got Giona, Atalanta.
Cagliari.
Yeah, that's what I say, Cagliari. Atalanta, Parma, Fiorentina, Udinese. Then you got AC Milan against Sassuolo, Inter Milan, and then you got 2 matches against Bologna.
Yeah.
And then you still have the Coppa Italia against Atalanta as well.
Yep. No, and even if you look at that top 7, you got Inter Milan, which has also one thing that I forgot to mention has been a goal scoring machine. Goal differential of 33 goals to second place. I mean, that's just freaking ridiculous. So you got Inter Milan, AC Milan, Roma, which that's another one that we kind of overlooked, but they've actually been phenomenal this season. 3rd place, fits them well. Great profile for them. Lazio, Juventus, Napoli, and Atalanta. I mean, just look at that top 7. Just oozes talent in Serie A. That is exactly where the Italian league needed to get back onto, considering that for years it was kind of a sleepers league. Nobody was even paying attention to it
because Juventus was running away with it.
Yeah.
Listen, the last couple years in Serie A, Inter Milan's been very good, but then when they transfer over to the Champions League, for whatever reason, they falter. So if Inter Milan wins, just know that the Champions League next year they're not going to come out to. Well, their striking duo of Lukaku and Morato Martinez literally just combined for 30 goals already this year. It's insane. It's insane.
Yep. So now let's move over to the Spanish La Liga. Atletico Madrid continues their ruthless lead in the Spanish La Liga, but now it's getting a little bit closer too, though.
I was about to say I wouldn't say ruthless.
I mean, they continue to be on the lead, and I don't think they're gonna fall from that anytime soon. Real Madrid, though, is starting to get scarily close in there. Barcelona's still got a chance for maybe second place. Sevilla and then Sociedad.
The big matchup for this is March 7th when Atletico hosts Real Madrid.
That's always
because that's huge. Well, that's also the last time that they meet, and then they don't play. Atletico doesn't play Barcelona until the 9th of May.
Yep.
So those are two big games that you have to watch out for their title hopes.
I just want to know, how does a Barcelona team with that stacked of a roster tie against a Cadiz side 1-1? I mean, come on, Coleman, how much more do you have to do to finally just be fired?
Well, I was about to say, Andrew can tell you, it's called the Koeman effect.
Right. Exactly.
Ronald Koeman, dude, it's just not a manager. He just shouldn't be a manager.
You know who I would love to actually see as the Barcelona manager? Jose Mourinho.
I knew that was coming out of your mouth.
To finally end that rivalry between Pep Guardiola and him. Both get to coach the team that they loved. Both get to manage again their team into glory. Like, it would just be a wonderful way to just end the rivalry. Just end it, move on. You two are phenomenal coaches. There is no question in that. That would just be really just the special one finally coming to Camp Nou to close things up and bring them back to glory.
You know, do you know what's a name that wouldn't be a bad get for them?
Xavi.
Him
As
too.
a manager, Xavi.
Him too, but I feel like Massimiliano Allegri would be a good fit for them in there.
Massimiliano. Yeah, I think so, but I think his biggest issue is going to be, what does he do after Lionel Messi leaves? Because there is nothing you can do right now for Lionel Messi not to leave. Like, that dude is set to go. What do you do though as a manager afterwards without having had the experience in the Spanish La Liga as of current to build a team brand new around new pieces?
Listen, if you're going to keep Antoine Griezmann and company, build a team around him.
I almost want to say they'd be willing to trade him off, because his trade over to Barcelona hasn't capitalized at all. Like, that is just as bad of a trade as when we got Harry Maguire.
Well, in all honesty, I think the big thing for him coming in was the fact that what the fuck was his name?
I mean, Atletico has literally put their leg up over Barcelona with the trades on this one.
Why am I drawing
got Luis Suarez? And
why am I drawing a blank on who Barcelona's manager was before Coleman?
Luis Enrique or Kike?
Who was it like recently?
It was Kike. Hang on. Let me.
What's his name, dude? Why am I drawing a blank? Andrew, you're supposed to fill me in here. What the fuck?
Kike said.
I don't know. Sorry.
That's who it is. That's who it is. Well, the big thing was when he was playing in that formation, he was playing out of position. Now he's playing up in striker. He's getting more chances and more opportunities. But for me personally, I just think if you look at what he can do at the striker position, especially when he was at Atletico Madrid. Wow, I'm having a morning. Holy jeez. If you saw how he could play like that, I think it's capable that you can do the same thing with Barcelona like they did at Atletico Madrid.
But still, though, even before Quique Setien, when they were with the Valverde leadership, he still struggled. So
he's playing out of position, dude. I think,
like, he was flipped in between being a winger and also a striker. Like, there were many
but it fucked up his confidence. It fucked up his confidence. In my opinion.
I'm not saying that Griezmann sucks. I would never say that. I think the guy is super talented. I just don't think that transfer over to Barcelona was a decent transfer for him. I think a transfer to another league maybe would have been far more beneficial. You know, I just again, good luck to Barcelona this offseason, this transfer window. Let's move over to Bundesliga finally. A lot closer than what one would think. For months, maybe for years now, we've been talking about how Bayern Munich is just this tremendous dynasty that nobody will ever touch, right? But then you look at the current standings, and Leipzig is right behind them, just waiting for Bayern to lose and to take over. Like, that is crazy. That is an absolute crazy league as well.
It's crazy more so the fact of the teams that are in 3 and 4 on the table. Wolfsburg and Frankfurt. I think
yeah.
Frankfurt's won 5 in a row, which is ridiculous. And Wolfsburg's won 4 out of the last 5.
And I mean, even Leverkusen too. Leverkusen, we weren't expecting them to have a good season this year, and they're in 5th place, qualifying right now for Europa League next year.
I thought they'd finish top 6, but a little disappointed in Dortmund. Dortmund having 8 losses in 22 games.
Yeah,
definitely shouldn't be a thing. And Gladbach, honestly, being 8, 9, and 5 through 22, also
and now,
another surprising thing.
Well, even deeper surprise too is Schalke 04 very soon to relegate. That is a massive surprise for the Bundesliga because Schalke has always just been known to be such a high tempo team.
Yeah, and for them, literally the minus 41 goal differential doesn't speak to Schalke football, to be honest.
No, not at all. And then you got.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Drew.
I was gonna say it's they lost Weston McKennie and they just fell apart. They're not the same without him.
Yeah, literally. And then you got Gladbach as well, who started the season very hot, and now they're sitting at 8th place. Not sure that I'm happy with them sitting at 8th place. But then they also just lost their manager, who went over to Dortmund.
No, they still have him until the summer.
Is that right?
He's going to Dortmund in the summer.
Okay, I thought that was an effective transfer.
No.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. But still, though, that's gonna be another big piece too. Their manager's gonna be gone. He's the one that basically put that team all together to be such a high qualifying team as well. Like, look at how they're performing in Champions League. Nobody would have thought that they were gonna go that far. Chris had his confidence on them since the get-go, and I was shocked that he was willing to make that bet. But again, if you're a bettor, shout out to Chasers podcast number 1. But number 2, if you're a bettor, you always make a risky choice. And that is exactly what Chris did with the Champions League and Gladbach to qualify into the next round.
Well, that was just based off of past knowledge with Inter Milan struggling in the Champions League as well.
Yeah.
Just gotta use your head, honestly, because you and I both thought that we'd get a couple teams that would. Because you and I both originally thought that there would be a couple teams that would sneak into the round of 16, and there really wasn't besides Gladbach, honestly.
And then there's always the failure of Manchester United. They had it all and they lost it all.
Actually, I gave up on it because it's apparently not an argument anymore. So I'm done talking about United in the Champions League.
Where does that come from? Where did that even come from?
Nah, it came from the top rope.
It's been a weird morning today,
dude.
Yeah, to say the least. I'm like,
it's just
United, not a champion. Like what?
No, I'm talking about like in this season. Like I'm done making the argument about people talking bad about my team, and I'll be like, oh well, where's your team? Not in the Champions League. I can tell you that much. So I'm done with that argument. I'm gonna come with more firepower.
So with that said, next week a lot of content as well happening. Champions League, we got Europa League. I think we got Europa League action, right?
Yeah, the second leg is Wednesday and Thursday.
So check out episode 26 next week, where we connect back again on those 2 big tournaments.
Hopefully we'll get the draw for the next round in the Europa League.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, absolutely. But with that said, that wraps it up for episode 25 of the Yellow Card Podcast. If you are our YouTube followers out there, please make sure you start to subscribe over to the Couch Guys Sports YouTube channel. As of this episode, we are officially transferring over to that channel.
Woo!
And we want to make sure that you follow us there and continue checking out our content. Thank you so much for tuning in, and hope you have all a great week.